Welcome back. Up next in the fight to make it out of Group B is a battle for the Atlantic between Fnatic and Cloud9. The last time these teams met, Cloud9 came back and won with a huge pentakill courtesy of balls on Darius. Fnatic had an underwhelming week 1. We'll have to see if they took advantage of their time off to retool for week 2.
What I want to see out of Fnatic is control Huni a little bit more. He's being too aggressive. You know, the two best top laners in the tournament, Someday and Marin, have really stood out because they play in a way that they don't need to get a lead in the first 10 minutes of the game. They'll be very patient and just get one solo kill at around 14 minutes and then just crack the game open. And that's what Huni needs to do. We know that he can take over. And right now you see how Marin, at this time, he has one lead and the game's already over. Same right here with Someday. We know Huni's at the same level of these guys. We know he can play like this. We've seen him do the same thing at MSI. Take a breather, relax. That's what I hope this time off did for them. And I think they'll just be right on track because some of the draft errors they had will be easily solved as long with the safe play.
Yeah, along with that patience comes, you know, the faith in your teammates. Febivin and Reckless, who have been performing very well to carry the team. So there's definitely an element of perhaps, you know, stepping off the gas, letting them take over and do what they do best.
That's exactly what Cloud9 does, though. You look at Balls in the top lane, he's the exact opposite of the way Huni is right now. He's extremely patient, and he'll even fall behind in games, but then he waits for his team to actually back him up. How many times in this tournament have we seen him get off to a deficit in CS, but then his team bails him out? Incarnation and Sneaky finally rescue him. He gets 2 kills, he gets a wave and starts freezing it, and then Huni has to break it, is what happened last time. Just so many situations go wrong at the start for Cloud9, but they always bail Balls out, but he's waiting for that. He's not impatient and tries to dive.
Yeah. And we can see that Fnatic is drafted Yasuo, Alistar, Gragas, and Orianna. And I think this is simply all-in team composition. But we have to notice that C9's support, Lamination, is one of the best Morgana supports in the world. And I think it is really good for him to pick this champion when there is all-in champion with all the flash initiations, and it is all countered by a single E by Morgana. And what Serene said, Boss is always tend to fall behind and wants to have help from the teammates. I think Fnatic can grab this point and pick Twisted Fate. Why? If you are tended to fall behind, that means the minion waves is coming to the tower, and Twisted Fate can help the top laner to kill Boss easily.
Well, if they're going to be picking Twisted Fate, that means they're picking it into Incarnation, who's been playing pretty exceptionally this tournament. You know, the second half of his season was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, and then he started picking up Veigar and Azir and having these types of champions that are able to siege extraordinarily well and catch people out, but has so much damage. And then they always pair this with the Darius top, and you have to run through that to get to them. So far, they've been running pretty much the same composition. Darius top, Lee Sin jungle, Azir Veigar mid, Tristana AD carry, and then Morgana support. And then the question for me is, does that make Cloud9 too predictable? Are they CLG number 2? But I don't think so. Well, because they have dynamic shot calling.
This is the match that we get to see if their champion pools run deep at all, because Fnatic is going to be on the blue side, which means that they have the liberty of not banning Gangplank, Mordekaiser, and apparently Tahm Kench as well. So we get to see who are they going to target. You know, Darius has been the most played champion for Balls. Azir for Incarnation has been pretty crucial. I think they should focus Incarnation for their bans just because we haven't seen more out of him, and he's been so critical with those 2 picks. There really aren't any other champions in the game that do the same thing that Azir and Veigar do to such a powerful siege.
Now, we've talked a lot about how a team should attack C9 strategies from week 1, but the hope has to be that C9 will have also developed new strategies. They've had a week now to say, all right, we would be coming into week 2 predictably, if we came in with that same fast turret pushing siege strat. Is there, with the tools they have at their disposal in their different players, do they have other strategies that they can stretch for?
I feel like this sounds like a broken record, but the shot calling has been very bold, and that's taken a lot of their opponents off guard, particularly the Baron calls from Cloud9 very early on. Catch their opponents out of sync, out of rotation. So a lot of times they'll send people bottom and think, all right, you know what, you can catch that wave for 30 seconds. They're not going to do Baron. That's kind of too risky of a call. bam, Cloud9's on it. They're doing the Baron. It doesn't even matter if the other jungler is there. They will go for it. They're playing how we expected LPL teams to play, and that is very refreshing to watch. And I think that that's really what's giving them the edge in all of these games.
I want to move ahead to predictions only because I want to get your guys' reasoning behind your picks. So, NA greater than EU, EU greater than NA. Once again, Crumbs, we're starting with you coming this way.
I'm going to have to go with Cloud9, obviously, for this one. But I do think that it's going to be a much closer matchup, and I wouldn't be surprised if Fnatic would be able to take it. I'm going with Cloud9 simply based on that I'm not completely sold on Fnatic's ability to restrain Huni. The mistakes that he has right now are the same ones we saw him make during the entire LCS season, which were obviously few because of their undefeated season, but they never really got tested to the point of having to fix them, and I don't think they're going to do it now.
I'm also going to go with Cloud9 here. I feel like it's the polar opposite of Fnatic. You were saying they weren't tested. Cloud9 was tested all season long, and now they're proving they can bounce back, but they haven't even lost a game here. So Cloud9, for me, because not only do they have these compositions that seem to be working, they probably have a little bit more, but even if they get the same composition or don't get it, they still have those amazing shot calls to back them up.
And finally, Tabe?
I think I will choose Fnatic. I've deeply thought about a long time before choosing Fnatic. Why? Because because I think there is a really close game, last game. And I think, like Crum said, Huni is solo queuing, playing solo queue. And if Huni is take a deep breath and notice that all teammates are also very good. Professional gamers, we have to have team cooperation, coordination, they will succeed. And the next thing is, because they are red, purple side, right? The Gangplank bans and Mordekaiser bans are obvious, right? But I hope that Fnatic can have a little change in their mind to try banning the Morgana out. Why? Because I think Incarnation is good at Faker, right? No, world #1 Faker, but at the same time, his Azir is really good. That means if you ban Azir, they get Faker. You get Faker, they ban. If you ban Azir, if they other way round. And I don't think Fnatic's mid can play a good Faker too. So I think maybe banning out their Morgana and giving them whatever Lee Sin, Tristana, I don't care. I think the Morgana is the crucial one.
All right, well, we'll see if Cloud9 can keep their undefeated run alive in Worlds or if Fnatic can come back swinging. It's time to settle this one, and as we head to the casters for picks and bans, Yellowstar tells us how High breathed new life into a struggling Cloud9.
They capitalize so well on the map movement, and they play for objectives really well. And we know that High is prone to be a really good shot caller. Like we've seen that when he stepped in the gauntlet, he basically brought Cloud9 from the ground to the top, and they've been performing really well lately. And getting a win against them would mean a lot to us, and we have to get this win to perform for this day.
Welcome back to the caster desk, ladies and gentlemen. Great to hear from Yellowstar there with a lot of respect to High. Of course, this guy has been able to shot call their way through so many of these tournaments, especially at Worlds. I'm looking back to last year where he was Talon sitting in brushes towards the opposite side of the map against Samsung Blue. All sorts of ridiculous stuff. I mean, it almost worked.
The secret Agent Z move, one of my favorites, even though they lost.
Brilliant, brilliant stuff.
And I have to say, a lot of people, I mean, High definitely deserves all this credit for his shot calling, but he makes some very, very risky calls. And I think Incarnation and Sneaky particularly also deserve some credit, because some of the Baron calls that High has gone for balance on the tip of a knife's edge. And it's because of a couple really good outplays by Incarnation and Sneaky in those Baron fights that Cloud9 barely get away. They get a couple people out with the Baron, and then they're able to make use of that really well because of the split pushing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But before we get into Champ Select, let's run down the rosters. For Europe's #1 seed, it is Fnatic. In the top lane, it is going to be Huni. We'll see whether he's playing solo queue or whether he's decided to join his team for this one. It's Rainover is going to be in the jungle. For Bivin in the mid lane, Reckless and Yellowstar there on the bottom lane, and Coach Daylor. We'll see how these guys go, whether they can get some revenge against Cloud9.
I just don't want to see the Yasuo into the Darius again from these guys. If we could get a real top lane matchup, that'd be great.
That would be great.
I seriously doubt that we will see that exact matchup take place again. But lining up across for them for North America, it's Cloud9. Up top is Balls. In the mid lane, or jungle.
We fooled you too.
We were talking about too much high mid lane.
Now in the mid lane is Incarnation. AD carry is Sneaky, and the support is Lemon Nation. Bubba Dub, the man on your screen right there, gonna be on stage coaching them as well. Now, I'm really, really interested in this mid lane matchup because even in the losses for Fnatic, Forbidden has been so good for them. Meanwhile, for Cloud9, Incarnation, he actually has the second most damage per minute of any player here at Worlds, second only to NL.
Yeah, 734, which across the 3 games is huge.
He's come up so big for this team.
But my question is, what happens when they don't get the Tristana paired with the Azir and the Veigar? We've seen their strat. Fast push the tower, everybody walks to mid lane. CLG was doing the exact same thing. The code was cracked against CLG. I think it's going to get cracked here too.
Well, we are going to hop into Champion Select right now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how this one's going to go. Of course, one thing that I want to point out is the fact that we have 3 teams that are sitting on 1 and 2. But Fnatic's 1 was pretty impressive. They only dropped 1 kill.
Also, remember that when Cloud9 beat Fnatic, they actually were at a gold deficit in their victory in the previous matchup here.
And not to mention that Fnatic, first blood in every one of their games, they've secured it for themselves. Cloud9 has been first blooded in every game so far.
Look at the picks here, or the ban so far from Fnatic. Yeah, pretty strong coming out here. Both High and Lemonation have been putting in a lot of time on Tom Kench, so that's where that ban comes from.
Yeah, Lulu the final ban there for Cloud9 after the standard Gangplank and Mordekaiser, but Elise, the first pickup from Huni for Rainover.
Pet the Duck number 2 incoming.
Here we go. I've seen this one before.
Cloud9's been prioritizing this Darius, but now, you know, we've seen that there are some counter picks. Will Huni play the Fiora? Will Huni play the Renekton? He was very disrespectful in the Darius matchup in their last game, ended up seriously costing them. And what they need to do to break... No.
I want to
see Rainover's having a giggle right now.
Having a giggle
on your screen. So trolling his teammate, lightening up the atmosphere before the game. But
he says, hopefully.
Get the wave clear if you're Fnatic. Just get wave clear. Stave off the big 5-man grouping that Cloud9 likes to do in the mid lane and punish it with a powerful split pusher on Huni. That's what I want to see. They tried to just wombo combo them in the mid lane last game. Didn't work. There was too much kite from Cloud9. They want people to walk into Balls as Darius.
Well, Huni considering the Gnar for the counter pick here for Darius. For Bivin, he's still going to be hovering that Yasuo, but one thing I want to talk about is this lock-in of the Jinx as well. You mentioned Sneaky on the Tristana, but already opting to go away from it. There we go.
Kennen and Gnar. So another...
Is that a triple flex? That's the question.
Well, can't be top lane right now unless we're going something really wacky. It's not Unicorns of Love, so it's probably not going to be a jungle Gnar.
I also don't think it's a Forbidden mid here, so I'm pretty sure that is a support Kennen already. Now, Kennen coming from the support lane makes him even squishier. He has to be very careful. That is a prime reset target for Balls. Whenever somebody has locked in Darius, you have to be fairly careful with the way you set up your team comp.
And Sneaky
as
well.
And don't give him a reset target, because just one person going down increases Darius attack damage by a tremendous amount. Not to mention he can easily 5-stack somebody with just an auto attack. So whoever the Kennen player is going to have to play fairly carefully.
Well, we'll see what Yellow Star is going to do with that pick as 7 seconds to go. Cloud9 need to make up their mind here, and High looking to go back to the Lee Sin once again, like he did last time they matched up against Fnatic, and Incarnation takes the Orianna.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of speed boost there that he could give to the Darius, but overall a fairly versatile team fighting team here for Cloud9 so far.
I'm seeing the exact same thing that we saw in their other games. Control Mage in the mid lane, fast tower pushing with the Jinx, long range for the sieges, and a composition that wants to kite after setting up around a tower. So we're not really seeing any diversity really from Cloud9 strategically yet, and Ashe is a great answer to this.
Guaranteed
engage. It's going to be locked in.
Would be interesting. Okay, so now we do have the multiplexer. It's going to be a jungle Shen or a jungle Gnar. You can jungle Gnar as well.
It's going to be a jungle
just kidding. Just kidding.
Is that an AD cannon?
It is.
Oh my goodness. This is one of my absolute absolute all-time favorites. It's a huge shout-out back to, I can't even remember his name. Who was the massive AD Cannon player from, I think it was about a year ago. We'll wait to hear back from that, but man, I love this pickup.
I'm a little flabbergasted.
You don't exactly get much range. You see, he fell out of favor once he lost about 500 range on his auto attack, unfortunately, the old cannon. But this is odd, most definitely.
So yeah, we have seen duo lane cannon being fed the farm before. This is going to be very, very interesting because I haven't seen it in a long time. Is it going to be a duo ninja lane?
Oh,
with a
that
support
would be
Shen?
thematically kind of cool.
I believe it is, yeah.
Who else is going to be the support?
So Reckless and Yellowstar are going to go with the ninja bot lane.
Well, one great thing about AD Kennen is that he's actually very good in a split push situation because of his 1v1 potential, considering he's got a lot of hard crowd control. And he's a very big bully. He's a very big bully.
Also, he can fairly easily keep out of Darius' range. This is going to be very, very interesting. I want to see if they go for a lane swap with the duo ninjas.
I have no idea what's going on.
Because,
yeah.
Okay, so one important thing for Fnatic is that with the odd bottom lane that they locked in, they have guaranteed wave clear. They have the Victor in the mid lane. That was going to be the ones we were going to be looking at specifically. And Forbidden will take the Victor there for that purpose.
That was really the key to me, is that you need that strong wave clear in order to prevent the sieges that were coming down.
Yeah.
The engage here, though, from Fnatic, if they have Flash on Gnar, Flash Gnar ultimate could be very, very devastating for this Cloud9 lineup.
Well, I'm going to be looking to the early game here and see if they've got any clever plans for the hard CC on both Elise and Kennen to make some plays around that bottom duo.
Well, we'll see what they do, but with the lineups locked, be sure to tell us who you think will come out on top by tweeting at LOL Esports. Use the hashtag FNCWin or C9Win, and we'll check on the result in just a few minutes. But the Ninja bottom lane, Kennen and Shen versus Jinx and Morgana, and I have to think it might be a little bit of a range advantage here for Cloud9. If we do get standard lanes, that's the big question.
It's still really dangerous because of the amount of harass that could come out early on in the Shannon lane, I guess we'll call it.
Beautiful. It's better than Ken, I think, because that's only half of Ken, and it's just a little bit weird.
All right, I'm really curious to see if there's a lane swap and see how they want to utilize this lane, because I would think that Cloud9 would just want standard.
Oh. Well, first blood is going to be drawn here by Forbidden in the mid lane. Puts down his ward as well. So much money.
This is going to be a weird one. There's not really great engage from either team here.
Oh my goodness, they didn't go double medic lane either.
They are going to be, heavily dependent on Flash.
Apologize.
The synergy is lacking. You had a chance.
It's a big deal.
You had a chance, Fnatic.
No synergy for Shen in here.
Skinnergy.
Oh dear.
All right, so Cloud9 are going to go with, let's see if they reveal themselves on the ward early, though. I have to wait here till minions come through.
And Victor at the moment, not with the most gigantic win rate.
Ooh, High could get himself into danger. They do have a ward, and it's going to see all of Fnatic, so Cloud9 should be just fine now. They've spotted the whole team.
And we are going to get
the duo. They are going to find them.
Yeah, we're going to get standard lanes when all is said and done as Sneaky Elimination head up.
Even start here, though. The Shannon lane is going to be able to get the Gromp as well. Oh, no, they're not. They're just bypassing it.
You never bypass the Gromp. That's especially if you're Surgeon Shen. That's why he's bypassing, you know.
The problem is when
surgery going on.
Pass Gromp, do not collect 45 gold.
We'll see how many times he bypasses it. It's Reckless taking the W here, and AD Cannon, of course, the reason why he was good, does have that extra auto attack augmentation with his W there, the Lightning Surge.
Yeah, we'll check in on this the spam of the harass here from the duo ninjas. Right now, they're just focusing on the
Whoa! Level 2 hit by Forbidden. Lots of damage onto Incarnation there in the mid lane.
Maybe forcing some pretty favorable trades early, but Incarnation just be able to hold on for a little bit longer. And I want to see how Huni does, because that's been the big question mark,
yeah.
right? How is Huni going to be doing in some of these 1v1 lanes, because he hasn't fared too favorably so far this tournament.
Gnar into Darius, much
Yes,
better than the Yasuo into him. So let's see how well Huni uses that range advantage to grab harass in the early stages.
That being said, Marin made the matchup look pretty easy in the opposite direction there against Amazing J yesterday.
Well,
Influenced heavily by junglers.
That's a good point.
also
Pretty much
influenced
any
by
Darius lane is.
being Marin versus Amazing J. Must be said.
I didn't want to say it. Left that one.
The sustain here from the Ken and Shen lane is impressive, though. You can see Reckless will go for the harass, trying to get his combo. Once you charge up for the Shuriken, Hai gonna find Rainover. Hits the Spider, though.
Kills the Spider Link. Cocoon lands as Hai's taking a fair bit of damage, decides not to go into Spider form. There it is. There's now Incarnation making his way over, trying to get some damage onto the Spider as they head all in for it. First blood to Rainover as there's Yellowstar. Just comes down from the top lane as Incarnation's going to fall as well. Yellowstar grabbing a kill, and that's the best ninja play I've seen from Shen ever, I think.
Sneaking in right behind up until he revealed himself and taunted. But yes, I mean, good early roam there. Fnatic had the top opened up. They had everything pushed forward so they could get the angle on the backside of the mid lane.
Bold move there by Hai, going for the super aggressive play. If you fail that and don't land your Q on the Elise, really big turnaround there. And he does cost the mid lane. Meanwhile, Reckless gets queued.
Yellowstar making his way in here as Summoning Hill has been blown by Sneaky. Reckless also has his down as Yellowstar just getting very far up in this lane.
And this is what I wanted to see out of Yellowstar. To me, Yellowstar had a very average to slightly below average first week of competition. He was kind of messing up his engages, wasn't being as surprising on the map as I usually like to see him be, but that was a great play. Comes back talking to Reckless while he comes into that top side. Reckless not worried about getting hit by that binding, and Yellowstar really turning things around. So we're seeing a lot more in this game, even though we're 5 minutes in, than we saw really out of Yellowstar in that first week of competition.
You can see as well how safe it is for Reckless to play so far up. Does have that Lightning Rush, can reposition very quickly as Yellowstar is going to find Elimination. Oh, the torn out of the way at the Dark Binding. The Chompers are going to go down. Elimination gets flashed on. Reckless grabs a kill onto him, and Sneaky trying to turn it around. The Ignite's ticking, but it's not going to be enough. Yellowstar just being a big, bulky Shen. And that is going to be the kill for Fnatic as Incarnation now in trouble in the mid lane. Once again, Rainover walks out of the gravity field. They want to give it to Forbidden. Not going to happen as Red Buff takes it for Rainover.
Cloud9 crumbling everywhere.
There's some revenge being acquired here for Fnatic.
Yeah, Elimination face checks the mid bush there. Get a kill for the Shannon lane. And then a repeat gank on mid. Very smart by Rainover. Goes for the flash cocoon, even though he misses it. Able to land the gravity field there for Forbidden. They know that there's no flash on Incarnation. Meanwhile, down bottom, Balls is the next target.
Aggressive, but does get the heal from the Q. Flashes to safety.
Yeah, but Rainover really making the plays on the map already. He's blown several summoner spells, had a couple very successful ganks, and really out jungling Hai at this point in the game. And this is the Fnatic that I thought we'd be seeing last week. They started off a little bit slowly, but they are coming roaring out of the gates. And here we go, coming back around. Balls, 50%.
Yep, there's the Gnar into the wall. Doesn't quite get the stun, but there's the wall of Balls in a bunch of trouble. Huni is going to fall down. It's a 1-for-1. Balls is able to get one back.
Yeah, Cloud9 get on the board here. They get one kill, but still a lot lost here at the turret. Rainover can just clear out this wave very quickly, and a bunch of minions going to go down. Balls does not have teleport, can't get back there, so big wave lost.
Incarnation, despite the fact that he's fallen down a couple of times, still ahead by about 5 here in the mid lane, so farming out quite nicely as Reckless going aggressive here on the top side. There's actually the Bilgewater Cutlass as the taunt comes in as well. Elimination stunned up for a long time, and Reckless just following him out. Easy kill. This Shannon lane doing some work.
Devastating early lane here from the duo ninjas, and Reckless is going to go for the attack speed build to get those Mark of the Storms charged up even quicker.
Also just gives him a better dueling presence too for later in the game. So coming in, I mean, Yellowstar again finding a tricky path right there where you can see they really chained the CC beautifully, just waiting until the absolute last second to pop that taunt, which does ostensibly give perhaps a window for a Black Shield, but if you do it properly, there really wasn't any chance, and by the time the Black Shield came up, it was just too late.
Yeah, this has turned into a massacre very quickly.
Very quickly. Do you think it has a lot to do with the fact that Rainover has managed to pick up this Elise? Last time around, we saw C9 on the blue side were able to ban that one away, and his impact has been so huge this game.
It's definitely helped, for sure. He's been able to make plays using the Elise. That gank in the mid lane wouldn't have been possible. Otherwise, Reckless going to get hit by the traps.
Yeah, there it is. The taunt lands as well into Sneaky. This is looking all too easy for Fnatic, but the flash is going to get Sneaky to safety. Lemon Nation over the top. Able to get Duke out of the way. Decent binding there onto Yellowstar, but he's pretty tanky right now.
Yeah, they just can't chase it. Fnatic
So
are just
zoned.
too far ahead right now from the duo lane. Massive CS lead, take the turret as well. Map pressure, deep wards, and kills. They've got everything.
Yep, Rainover's back here in the bottom lane as well, as there's the Stand United. Huni trying to get the work done. The shutdown comes in as High makes his way down, though, and Fnatic, they have to get out of there. It is a 1-for-1 in the end. Yellowstar, in fact, grabbing the kill. He's the worst medic I've seen. He's killing people all over the map.
It's okay, he's still doing bypasses, though. So.
Yeah, that's true. Got to bypass everything. As
What are you gonna
Meganar's
pick for?
coming in, Incarnation immediately stunned against the wall. Wall goes down, Chaos Storm! As Forbidden comes in as well, and High is going to secure the 1-for-1. Can he make it out of here, though? Chaos Storm hunts him for a bit. Yellowstar flashes after him. Bloodthirsty support action. But Balls did have to teleport back up once more. We'll see whether he can catch up to Shen. Both of them very slow. Dark Binding going to be dodged here by Forbidden. Gravity
Level
field goes
4,
down.
elimination.
Stun comes in, the Ignite's there. Will he be able to find it? Nice shield coming out from the Q. Elimination can't quite get it.
Yellowstar and Reckless already there to back him up, and Reckless coming down into the bottom side of the map and then pushing forward onto the turret. And Fnatic, they may be making some even trades on this dive, but they keep taking these objectives. They keep applying pressure.
Yeah, there's the apprehend onto Yellowstar. Just Shadow dashes his way away. Balls gets stunned there by Reckless. Decent use of the Mark of the Storm there to make sure that this Darius is kept at bay.
And wow, pre-12 minutes, Reckless already up about 1,200 gold on Sneaky.
Is going to have a very hard time to get out of this one.
Oh, and Sneaky's going to get caught out by Rainover as well. No turret to sneak off to, but does get the chompers down. High makes his way in. Is he going to be able to find the kill? Oh my goodness, Huni throws it out. It is going to be Rainover grabbing another one. And High on the run. The boomerang's good. Hyper Proc's going to be there for the speed up. And High kicks him out of the way, but the Krugs secure the kill. Living that Krug life. Oh man, even the animals of Summoner's Rift able to come to the aid of Huni this time around.
And we just got confirmation that this is the largest gold lead at 10 minutes outside of a game containing the Bangkok Titans.
I thought you were going to say LGD for a second there.
It is a tremendous differential.
In true ninja fashion, Fnatic did get the surprise on Cloud9, and they made use of it.
Oh boy. I'm so happy about the fact that AD Cannon's back.
Back for one game.
Back. I'm calling it back. I'm happy.
Back from
I'm
your
calling it
dreams?
back. Yeah, back from my dreams.
Back from, what, Genja maybe?
Yeah.
I don't think it was. Still trying to rack the brain.
Well, Genja definitely played it.
He definitely did play it. It did become a thing for a bit there.
Representing EU here. Reckless with the EU pride.
Well, now we have a question, because now that Fnatic has shown this, Kennen becomes an even more slippery pick in the draft. Where the hell is he going?
Yeah.
Play it anywhere but jungle right now. Rainover wrapping back around just to push him off the turret and secure another tower. Oh, they're not done there.
Yeah, teleport comes in. Huni with a decent Nabar on this one as well. As Rainover with so much damage. Another Nara into the wall. Elimination's going to die. This bottom lane constantly dying. High trying to turn something around here in the mid lane for Vivin. Trying to dodge out of the way of a potential Q, but High doesn't even throw it.
All right, now Yellowstar and Rainover running around as the duo. Incarnation does back off, though, to safety, so he'll be okay.
That was such a beautiful TP by Huni, coming in at just the right time for the Narbar, and then hopping over the wall to instantly hit his Gnar ultimate. High wrapping around, he wants to get a kick.
He's going to find it there as Elimination gets it delivered. Decent transfer power, but it's not quite going to be enough to save him. Yellowstar still aggressively moving towards Incarnation, but can't get it.
Also
Dragon
popped the
gonna
Stand
fall.
United there, so Shen ultimate is down. Dragon taken for Fnatic, though, and they've got a massive lead.
Yep, High bouncing around the mid lane here as well as Yellowstar. Oh, these plays are so good.
Fnatic feeling very confident early in this one, even as they have zero defense on this turret. And see balls come around.
Yeah, it does get the upper hand on Rainover, instantly destroyed. this could spell the outer turret in the mid lane as well for Cloud9.
All right, they also have bottom lane pushing, so it's not just mid. They're going to get pressure on 2 lanes here. Can Sneaky get up in time? He has to worry about the kill pressure of Kennen, though. Kennen not only has the electrical surge to charge forward in the lane, but he also has the Blade of the Ruin King. If he gets in range of you, he's going to pop the ultimate, slow you down. You have to be very, very careful. There's a lot of kill pressure just from Kennen and himself in the lane now.
Yeah, we'll see what Reckless decides to build second. I would like something like a static shiv, especially if he's gone hyper defend.
More lightning, that's what Kennen needs.
More lightning.
It's the
Exactly.
thematic synergy going on.
Yeah, you picked up on what I like in League of Legends.
Lightning.
Thematic correctness.
Are you a Pikachu lover too?
I know for a fact he's also a fan of Luden's Echo.
It's not lightning though, it's more like sad purple drops. Purple rain, Prince's favorite item.
Oh, well, blue buff. Ended steal here from Fnatic. Sneaky is making his way around, but Forbidden gonna secure that one. High didn't quite get there in time.
Well, this fast push has definitely been severely slowed due to the amount of dives and pressure that Fnatic has put on early. The amount of crowd control that they have in every single lane combined with the Elise, their pick pressure has been through the roof, and they've used it very efficiently so far.
All right, High gonna go for a play here, but Reckless just backs off. With the amount of gold that Fnatic have, they can just continue to pressure all lanes.
Yeah, and Ball's just going to die here on the top side in between his turrets. High making his way and looking for Yellowstar, but it's pretty tanky. There's the flash kick as Lemonation's trying to pick this one up. Shadow Dash comes out, another Q lands, exhaust immediately onto High. The binding dodge by Yellowstar, gets through the base gate. High still wants it, misses the Q, has to get out, but can't. He's going to walk towards the inhibitor turret.
The optimism rocket.
Maybe Rocket doesn't find him. Casually lists to the left, I believe is what you call that maneuver. Reckless, he's trying to answer this one. Stand United. Yellowstar with the plays for Bivin. Secures the kill over the top. And Fnatic in the meantime take 2 turrets in the top lane.
C9 is just so desperate right now to do anything, and they are just getting shut down player for player.
Oh, Huni flashes out of the shockwave there as Balls and Incarnation still going in. Apprehend doesn't find him. That would have been so close as now the Mega Knight's going to come through. Rainover bounces on top of him, but Huni doesn't need it. But Bivin out from the side, and man, the fights continue. They seem to continue in Fnatic's favor.
A weird Victor ult there, but you can't fault Fnatic. They just thoroughly outplayed Cloud9 across the map. In the process, they get an inhibitor turret at 15 minutes into this game. This is an incredibly dominant performance from Fnatic.
Yeah, at this point, Cloud9 just looking to try and get kills for morale's sake. Chasing people all the way into the base
kills.
Yes.
I see how it is.
Yep, I think I've heard of one of them before.
We had another optimism rocket here in the bottom side.
Yeah, the casual maneuver to the left.
Well, you're just not good.
Sick outplay.
I mean, there's a flash on the shockwave, and you're just not going to be able to beat Fnatic right now in these 2v2s. They're way too far ahead.
Look at that expert tiptoeing just outside of the range there of Darius. Huni put in some practice after being the victim of a pentakill from Darius.
Huni's revenge.
Huni's revenge.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Reckless is going for the Hurricane. So he wants to stack as many marks of the storm on as many people as possible.
You know what? Dash is cracking up on the NLSS right now because his favorite thing is the Blade of the Ruin King, or excuse me, the Rudon's Hurricane Kennen.
Oh, but Balls trying to get something done. Reckless able to flash his way out of there. Super Mega Death Rocket just sails over nonchalantly, and Rainover now running away from Balls, who's overextended a bit. He's going to fall down. Yellowstar grabs it, and Fnatic are demolishing C9. Incarnation, no mana, no health. Sneaky's going to explode. That was Freudian. For Bivin's going to wander away from the inner turret.
You know what happened? Well, never mind. That's.
I think we're done.
Oh, I was looking forward to the hole you were about to dig yourself.
Well, you like educational casts, right?
Oh my goodness!
Some biology for when the human body dies.
Oh my goodness!
Muscles release and certain things.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
I like how there was warning, there was preamble, we were talking about digging the
Oh, you know, he
and
just
you
encouraged me. He was like,
right
you know
in it
what?
Anyway.
We got to have lessons in every cast.
That's right.
You know what else I learned today from Monty, actually?
Oh my goodness, that was close.
What did you learn?
Kangaroo
Yeah,
leather is the optimal
Yeah.
leather to use in whip making.
Yes,
And
it
I
is.
didn't even know this, and I'm Australian.
Yesterday was the noodling episode.
Now it's the whip making.
Yeah, today
And before
is
you get ideas,
the
this
50
is for,
Shades episode.
This is no, it's not. It's for cattle herding, Kobe.
I don't know. Are you watching
We
the
went
same
through
game
that one
I'm
as well.
watching?
You'd already learnt this, Kobe. Well, Lemonation and Huni going to discover each other here, and Fnatic just looking for a way to tighten the noose. Or the lasso.
Oh, God. All right.
We're gonna get it right.
I take it back. I take it back. Let's get back into gameplay here for Cloud9, 4 mid top. Can they? No, I don't think they can. Huni by himself here. Yellowstar coming in for some support. Makes the dive very difficult, but they're still going for it.
Yeah, Hayad's actually going to face check this one as they lock down the Dragon as well. Yellowstar just casual ward over the side. They can't get the damage down as Huni's just left to the wolves here. He's going to get dunked. Meanwhile, just
They did it.
turrets falling down in the bottom lane.
I mean, it doesn't
What I
matter.
tell? Morale kills.
Morale kills for the morale turret trade. Now, they do have the Jinx, so they're going to be able to push pretty quickly right here, but Fnatic just roaring up the bottom lane. They're already on the inhibitor turret. Looks like we may see a base race. Okay.
Well, you may as well go for it. Of course, Jinx with a lot of turret damage, but they're not going to back away.
If you can't beat him at League of Legends, try and beat him in a
killing
race.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, they may just give up an inhibitor for free here. Jinx still not back, Orianna not back, and that was 2 turrets for 2 turrets and an inhibitor. Trade, C9 seeing if they can make it work, but...
Yeah, I think we know where the worths are coming from. Particular all chat conversation as Yellowstar's hunting Incarnation. There's the shockwave to stop him. That's a big cooldown as Yellowstar just shadow dashing to get in range. Let's get a key strike, but not going to find too much more.
They escape.
Well,
All right.
if Fnatic wins this game, then my hope of the 4-way tie is still alive. We're going game by game here.
If Cloud9 win this game, then I will never, ever bet against them.
Interesting. This may result in some conversations later, Kobe. I may be willing to take you up on that.
Something Spawn reference.
All right, Fnatic looking for a Baron now. Still a couple wards outside of the pit, so Cloud9 not going to be fooled quite yet.
Last year, when Cloud9 were facing a deficit kind of like this, we got the famous high on Zed, top secret ninja moves, trying to pull out creative ways to get back in the game and go for base races and split push opportunities, because you cannot fight the team straight up 5-on-5.
Well, they may have a slight opportunity. Huni now without
See if they
Megan
can't
Hart
get creative.
finding lands. But the siege on the inhibitor continues. Inhibitor open on the bottom side, giving them some breathing room.
Yeah, they
They're
have
in no rush.
to be careful here. Wait for those super minions to come in. They don't have the best siege composition. Huni has already taken a lot of poke damage by hopping over that wall and providing that front line.
Huni's getting pretty low here. Ball's definitely eyeing that execute. Got to watch the rage bar as well, though. Meganar
Yeah, starting to build
will
up
deny
one.
and execute. Huge amount of HP.
Oh,
gain.
Sneaky gets caught by the cocoon, and the shadow dash goes down so low, but not dead just yet. Inhibitor may suffer from this one. Double knockbacks, but look at all of the AoE action as Balls trying to get something done. High locks down the first one, but it's already a double kill for Bivin. Make that a triple as they are tearing apart the base, and there's just too much damage. It looked okay. C9 just don't have enough to work with.
Super minions here too. This is going to be the end of the game with everybody except for High dead.
Fnatic came to play week 2.
Yeah. They have something to prove on Summoner's Rift this time around. The Nexus is going to be falling, and Fnatic looking so much better this time around against Cloud9. And Huni, that man in the top lane, playing the tank, playing the team player, looking a whole lot better.
22 minutes this game. This is probably the shortest game that we've had so far at this World Championship. And not only that, Fnatic had 26 kills in those 22 minutes. So it has been an absolute massacre of Cloud9 in this game.
We did have that one surrender, but yeah, this one, Nexus kill at 22, that is impressive from Fnatic.
This is the Fnatic I expected to see coming into Worlds.
You expected to see the Shen Kennen?
I did not expect to see that. But this level of play, and this is also the Cloud9 I expected to see coming into this World Championship. They had a great first week, but they're really going to have to rally today. They only really need one win to make it into quarters, but that's a pretty devastating blow.
Yeah, that one strategy not paying off all the time as well. We'll see whether Cloud9 can pull out these high strategies, whether they can get something crazy happening for the next couple of games. But look, Fnatic just looking so strong. And we mentioned the difficult week, sort of the disappointing week the first time around. And they're coming back with something to prove, but this is what we're expecting, and we'll see whether they continue it out.
This is kind of what happened. So Cloud9, they take, like we said, some very risky calls. They continue to make risky calls if they get behind. So the end of the risk is if you continue to snowball like that, then you get games like this.
Yeah. Sure.
And you won't lose in a very slow, drawn-out fashion. You'll lose in a spectacular fashion like this.
And I like how Reckless gets a sweet haircut and then plays 80 Cannon with a Hurricane as well. I mean, it's just my favorite thing that I've seen thus far.
New look in the physical world, new look in the digital world this week.
Mark of the Storm for everybody.
Yep, it's pretty damn good. And look, 80 Cannon, one of my personal favorites. Mordekaiser is now pick or ban. Having a great time here at Worlds.
I feel like you're always having a good time. I've never seen you not having a great time.
That's true.
What's a bad time for you, Atlas?
I don't know, Maokai Shen, maybe. So thank goodness I wasn't casting the last AHQ IG game. Could have been a horribly dull time. But look, I'm excited to see what we are going to bring out next time, and whether Fnatic are going to play more 80 Cannon or whether anybody else is going to pick it up. Because of course, this is trend setting now. This might be the new meta.
So I don't think that AD Cannon is, OP or anything like that. A lot of it had to do with the surprise factor, and a lot of it had to do with the outplays that Fnatic made in the early game.
Absolutely.
And lane pressure as well, of course. They just shut down in lane. You could see that they didn't really get into any team fights towards the end there because the game was relatively over by that time.
Yeah, I mean, just the lane outright from Kennen and Shen, they actually played it really well. We saw Reckless, he would charge up Mark of the Storm, then go for his auto attack harass, and after he traded, Shen would Q a minion, and then he can regen off that minion, auto-attacking and pushing the wave again, and continuing that cycle. Because they're energy-based champions, they can just do it indefinitely.
Yeah, just constant spam of abilities, and of course,
well, with
both
that
ninjas.
Yeah, with that trading too. I mean, you just shut down the fast push strategy because they keep getting chunked out. They can't really walk up towards the wave to start shoving, to start getting some turret damage, and it really worked out well. I think this was a strategy that was tailor-made for Cloud9. So will the other teams pick up on this? Because Cloud9 looked very vulnerable to dives in that game. With a lot of CC, you can see that they were getting outplayed, and if you play aggressively enough, they don't really have the answers.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we're talking about as well. What are teams going to do to this one strategy that's been successful here for Cloud9?
I think that Cloud9 will be able to recover from this game in this group and take one later today, but I think this just bodes really well for Fnatic because not only was it the use of a new strategy for their duo lane, but also Reignover's play. Reignover was instrumental in snowballing that early game. He outplayed high to get that first kill, snowball the mid lane, he returned mid lane to camp Incarnation, and took away one of the biggest players that we've been talking up for Cloud9.
Yeah, basically went mid, bot, and mid, and got kills everywhere on the map. So huge game there for Reignover. But we're going to head downstairs to the interview lounge where Shox is standing by with Fnatic's Ninja bot lane.
Yep. Thank you very much, guys. Indeed, Reckless and Yellow Star after some crazy stuff. So I want to ask you about pulling out this crazy comp in the first game to redeem yourself kind of after the first week didn't go that perfectly, because there must have been a thin line between getting blamed for maybe being overconfident last week and then going with something very, very daring in the first game. How did you guys perceive that?
Well, last week I'd say it was not really Fnatic because we didn't have the perfect draft and we were not really confident with it. And now we're facing Sneaky. We had to definitely take the ninjas.
Reckless, we know from watching the web series that you guys have that Taylor a lot of times says, okay, we got to pick something that works in the team when you would maybe rather pick some champions that can just go in or do what you would like to do. So how did those conversations go, and how did you feel playing Kennen?
I think to a beginning when I joined the team, then it was a bit harder, perhaps. I mean, when I joined the team, of course, I wanted to mesh well with the guys, of course, and then just playing a champion like Sivir or Kennen was kind of basic already because Fnatic revolves around the solo lanes mainly. So playing a champion like Kennen, for example, today kind of fits our team comp because I bring a lot of CC or utility, as you would say, and then that's exactly just what we need. We just need the CC or utility for players like Huni and Fabian to carry the game.
How about for you personally? A lot of people have said, and we've noticed that you've gotten a lot more aggressive. Still, it's something completely different to have to pull the trigger on a champion like Kennen and maybe ult and engage. How did you find that?
I mean, obviously, I've been practicing Kennen a lot.
Oh, really?
I'm new to the champion. But yeah, it's a bit different. You know, when you play Kennen, it's not necessarily an AD carry whatsoever, actually. It's just you bring this extreme amount of CC, and then your job is different. It's not standing in the backline. It's actually going as a secondary follow-up, perhaps. So it definitely took some time to get used to it. But I think after a while, we kind of figured out that it works for us, and then we just kept practicing it, and then we pulled it out today.
Well, and showing a lot of diversity. Last week, you guys beat IG in the very first game very, very convincingly. So obviously the question on everyone's minds is, what have you built in this time to the team and maybe working with the coach to make sure that history doesn't repeat itself?
Well, we were really disappointed after our 3 matches because we had high expectations and we didn't really show our final form yet. And I hope that we're going to qualify and then we can finally show what Fnatic is.
Reckless?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know, last week just felt weird for me. I didn't really feel like us when we were playing. Even when I was playing the game, it felt really weird. So we tried to just find ourselves, I think, this past week, find what we did so well for the past 4 months when we were successful. And then we tried bringing it back today. And I think, I think we did pretty good on that.
I think so too. Trying to find yourself. Turns out you're ninjas, I would say. That's pretty good. Thank you guys very much. Congratulations. And good luck in the upcoming matches. And now back over to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Shocks. That was as they mentioned, our new fastest game, 22 minutes, just over 22 minutes, a stomp.
That is a Fnatic
by
that
all
SKT
regards.
Does not want to play. They said, we don't want to play Fnatic, now we see why.
Yeah. Exactly. So let's start first with this crazy pick ban. It was already talked about a little bit, but we saw Kennen Shen come out in the bot lane. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this comp that Fnatic came out with to start.
Right, so in the draft, we mentioned maybe Fnatic should ban Morgana. And the first thing that came to mind was wait a minute, they didn't ban Morgana. They first picked Elise. They're just wanting to play into Morgana. What are they doing? So when you pick the Shen with the Kennen and the Elise, both of those champions can break the spell shield very easily, as opposed to a regular lane like a Sivir, a Jinx, that has no ability to actually break the spell shield. With the Kennen, you CC both targets at the same time, so somebody's going to get CC'd, the spell shields are going to break, and then you just run over them. It was really intelligent, and I really liked it.
We can see about Fnatic's bans, and before the game, I analyzed that C9's Morgana is a huge point, and I think that banning their APs are useless. But come out, we can see that they banned Veigar and Azir too. Then I was shocked, but like Crumb said, because there's Shen and Kennen, they are both a lot of magic damage in the lane, so Lamination will be very afraid of the timing of using the E. And the other thing is, I'm very proud of Yellow Star of using Shen to roam mid lane during the early game. And the misplayed by incarnation of delayed flash and the delayed E from Morgana is causing the game.
Yeah, also elimination in that 2-on-2 lane, sometimes he was just way too far forward for almost no reason, and it happened 3 times. And that was a big snowball on the opposite side of the map that Reignover wasn't even affecting. And I actually really like the first pick Elise here for Reignover, because the thing that Hai has been lacking in this tournament is early pressure. We've seen lane swaps where his team is 3v2ing and he's doing the red buff on the opposite side of the map. So Hai's early routes have actually been a bit off, but then this time, when he came middle, Reignover was right there to counter it, and I thought that was really good. And then he just kept coming back to where the flashes were blown, which is the thing you should be doing as a jungler every time those flashes are blown. camp that lane a little bit more. See if you can get another.
I'd like to go on your point about the low early pressure from high, which we ended up getting a regular 2v2, but in the top side. And Cloud9 went for the lane swap. They were very determined on going about it, and they knew from the get-go that was their plan because they went for the Krugs. Fnatic, on the other hand, they sort of had the intuition of just saying, you know what, we think they're going to lane swap, let's just go straight to lane. And they ignored the Gromp and then just went straight to lane and because they wanted that 2v2 matchup, and then they just crushed with it. So I think they probably saw what you mentioned about the low early pressure. We don't want to go into the strategic kind of game. We're just going to completely overpower you in the early game, and it was just perfectly executed.
Yeah. Well, it was a quick game, quick analysis to boot. Cloud9 are not done yet, though. When we return, the North American squad gets back on the Rift to face the LMS's AHQ Esports Club. Don't touch that dial. Our coverage of Worlds 2015 continues in just a few minutes.
Fnatic. Good on the checker. Who's with me on the Fnatic hype train, guys?
Fnatic. Caught out by Rainover as well. No turret to sneak off to, but does get the chompers down. High makes his way in. Is he going to be able to find the kill? Oh my goodness, Huni with a decent Nabar on this one as well. As Rainover with so much damage. Another Nara to the wall. Elimination's going to die this bottom lane. Baby Rocket doesn't find him. Casually lists to the left, I believe is what you call that maneuver. Reckless. He's trying to answer this one. Stand United. Knockbacks, but look at all of the AoE action as Balls trying to get something done. High locks down the first one, but it's already a double kill. And Fnatic looking so much better.